Let's have a little look at some of the main consequences of the 1916 Rising. So the first consequence, after the 1916 Rising, 16 leaders were executed. Most of them were executed in Kilmainham jail. The execution of the leaders had a major impact in kind of changing public opinion towards the Rising. Throughout the Rising, the vast majority of the people in Dublin and across the country did not support the Rising, but that really changed for a number of reasons. One of the key reasons being the very emotive stories that came out about some of the executions. So, for example, James Connolly was so badly injured that he had to be kind of tied to a chair before he was executed. There's also the very kind of well-known story of Plunkett, who married Grace Gifford, again, just before his execution. And public opinion, like people were really upset about these stories, about these executions. Our next consequence is that about 500 people were killed. Vast majority of them were civilians, including children and like babies in prams. 2,500 people were injured. There was about £3 million worth of damage done to Dublin as a result of the Rising. A further 2,000 people were interned, so that means imprisoned without trial. As we previously mentioned, public opinion towards the Rising, towards kind of Ireland's position in British Empire, started to change after 1916. And for many people, home rule was no longer enough. They now wanted complete independence. The final kind of consequence is that a newspaper mistakenly called the 1916 Rising the Sinn Féin Rising, okay? This was just a typo. Because of this typo, people who now wanted to support the cause of Irish independence, who wanted to support, the leaders who had been executed, they turned and started voting for Sinn Féin and started supporting Sinn Féin. And so you will see in the 1918 general election, Sinn Féin win an overwhelming majority. They get 73 seats, and they basically go on and form the first Dáil and then also get involved in the Irish War of Independence. So using politics to get Irish independence has not worked on its own. Using physical force has not worked on its own. So Sinn Féin now combines the two.